You know that awful feeling? The knot in your stomach when someone tells you that's just policy, and you know it's a lie wrapped in pure bias. That quick, dismissive sting tries to shrink you down to an expectation they crafted just for you. We often feel justice requires shouting, a loud defense that drains energy. Forget the shouting. Forget the immediate urge to fight emotion with emotion. That's what the bias relies on, your panic. I've seen the cold denial, the assumption of incompetence. But I've also seen the shift. The moment the power dynamic completely inverts. It happens not with rage, but with specific surgical precision. It's about leveraging the systems they hide behind. Better than shouting, the rule that shuts the room. 3 calm steps, 1 loud result. It's not about volume. It's about leverage. It's about the quiet step that flips a $500 million deal. This shift moves you from frustration to accountability, trading panic for proof, and gaining clarity, dignity, and less fear. Let's look at a moment in time. The bank lobby holding its breath. This was a high-stakes meeting for the North Star Infrastructure Fund, securing primary financing for a massive urban redevelopment project. Millions of jobs, billions in capital. Amara led the deal. She built the firm from zero. But to the Vice President of Regional Lending, Robert, she was just a placeholder. She was the only black woman at the mahogany table, and he decided she was administrative support. The meeting started fine, but when Amara opened her mouth to address the technical risk parameters, Robert cut her off. I appreciate the note-taking, dear, but let's stick to the principles. We need to hear from the actual decision-makers on the equity split. His associate smirked. It was loud. It was humiliating. It was designed to derail the entire conversation and push Amara back into invisibility. The common mistake here, getting angry and launching into a personal defense. I am the CEO, without documenting the abuse or citing the necessary policy. Arguing your feelings validates their bias as an opinion worth fighting. Arguing policy exposes their liability. Amara didn't shrink. She took a slow, deep breath, just like we practice. She placed her carefully organized binder flat on the table. The room went silent. Robert, emboldened by the silence, leaned back. Look, we're under a time crunch. Are you prepared to move to the term sheet, or do we need to schedule a follow-up with the key stakeholders? He used the phrase, key stakeholders. Like a weapon, this was the opening. Amara had done her 10-minute justice prep that morning. She knew the bank's structure, their compliance manual, and the exact policy lines for equitable access to capital. She looked Robert directly in the eye, steady, calm, no heat in her voice. The best justice tool has no shouting. Mr. Robert, I am the key stakeholder. I am the managing partner and chief investment officer of North Star. And before we move to the term sheet, I need to address a serious violation of your firm's due diligence and conduct policy, specifically Section 4.7, regarding biased impediment to capital access. The moment she cited the specific internal section, 4.7, you could literally hear the gears grind to a halt. Robert's confident posture collapsed. The day the badge flipped, that expensive vice president badge suddenly looked very heavy. Amara didn't stop. She didn't raise her voice. She simply presented the evidence. For the past 7 minutes, she continued, you have actively impeded the legitimate inquiry of a decision maker based solely on a biased assumption of my role, violating not just internal policy 4.7, but also Regulation B, which mandates fair lending practices regardless of protected class. She opened her document packet, not the colorful pitch deck. She opened the packet containing the email chain, documenting the entire scheduling process, her name, her title, her signed authority, all repeatedly confirmed before the meeting. The proof that ends the excuse. She didn't ask for an apology. She demanded accountability based on corporate liability. Policy beats ego every single time. I need to know immediately, Amara stated, her voice low and even, who the designated compliance officer for this jurisdiction is. Based on your conduct, North Star is placing the entire 500 million financing partnership on hold until a formal internal audit verifies your department's adherence to equitable access mandates. This is not negotiable. The bias that costs 1B? That's what happens when arrogance loses sight of who is sitting across the table. Robert realized in that paralyzing moment that he hadn't just insulted an individual, he had potentially jeopardized the bank's relationship with one of the most powerful emerging funds in the country. The lost revenue, the reputational risk, the mandated regulatory scrutiny. It was astronomical. Big deal, bigger dignity. The silence lingered. Then a quick, panicked flurry of movement outside the room. Robert's supervisor, the executive director, had been alerted by Robert's associate, who, thankfully, hit record on their phone. The executive director, clearly terrified of the Regulation B citation, didn't bother greeting Robert. He walked directly to Amara, addressing her by her proper title. Ms. Amara, please accept my deepest apologies for this inexcusable lapse in professional conduct. This individual will be immediately relieved of his duties regarding the North Star account, and a formal investigation into his adherence to Policy 4.7 is starting right now. That rapid, decisive response is what accountability looks like. Not just an apology, but an immediate consequence, a change in process, and a commitment to systemic fix. Robert was removed from the deal. Later, the bank's internal policy review confirmed his biased pattern. He was sanctioned and ultimately fired for cause. That is justice, clear, documented, and enforced through existing legal and corporate structures. This story isn't about Amara being special. It's about her being prepared. How do we bottle that composure? How do we arm ourselves with that quiet, terrifying competence before we walk into the room? We use the 10-minute mini ritual. This is your personal justice prep. Do this before any high-stakes interaction. The 10-minute justice prep sequence. 1. Centered breath and posture, 2 minutes. Find a quiet spot, sit tall, breathe deeply until your heart rate slows. Visualize your competence, not your anxiety. Feel your worth anchored in your seat. Confidence is readiness. 2. Policy identification, at 3 minutes. Identify the policy that protects you. Is it Regulation B, Fair Lending? Title 7, Workplace? Your university's Student Code of Conduct? Save the exact policy number or regulation name on your phone's Notes app. Know what they are accountable to. Goal. Move from I feel wrong to you have violated 14 CFR Part 91, Section 5. 3. Phrase prep, 2 minutes. Develop your neutral, non-emotional phrases. These are circuit breakers designed to de-escalate their ego and escalate their liability. Choose one. I would like a supervisor and a copy of the written policy governing this situation. Please state the specific policy number that dictates this decision. I will wait while you contact your compliance officer regarding this interpretation. Rehearse saying it out loud, slowly, calmly. 4. Witness mode activation, 3 minutes. Set your boundaries and activate documentation. Tell yourself, I am entering witness mode. Ensure your phone camera is easily accessible. Record, report. Note the time, date, and exact location. Note the name, badge number of the person. This is crucial for filing a formal complaint. Identify one potential ally nearby. This prep transforms you from a victim reacting to chaos into an investigator gathering facts. It's about taking control of the information, the ultimate source of leverage. Remember, your safety comes first. Avoid physical confrontation at all costs. Your goal is documentation and policy escalation. If you are in immediate danger, prioritize safety and seek help. Laws and corporate policies vary. Adapt the prep ritual to the specific institution you are engaging with. The path to justice requires steady steps of competence and calm courage. Amara won not because she was louder, but because she cited the liability that outweighed their temporary ego trip. She didn't let the insult define her. She used her competence to define the consequence. You are not powerless. You are capable of navigating complexity, understanding systems, and demanding accountability. Your challenge today: choose one action. 1. Identify one policy that protects you and save the policy number on your phone. 2. Practice one neutral policy-driven phrase, "I'd like a supervisor and a copy of the policy," 3 times out loud using a low, steady voice. 3. Do the full 10-minute justice prep sequence before your next important interaction. Start with that. Start today. Let's build leverage together.